Mephibosheth here. I'm going to share what I call the addendum to Friday's message. Yesterday, in our message, I ended by telling you what Father spoke to me about the election. Father asked me, do you believe that Trump will win the election? And my answer was, I believe that. Father then spoke this to me. He will win. I said in my video that I had a conversation with my one daughter and my son-in-law about this, what happened, what God had spoken to me. And I shared with them that if Trump does not win, I will no longer share my observations. Reason being, I have a passion for what people call teaching. I call it sharing my observations. God tells me what to observe. I observe, and then I share with you and others what I have observed. My greatest passion in the last 48 years has been sharing my observations. Most call that teaching, with the exception of a few. Let me give you an exception. I just, in thinking of this, it's Andy and Elsie went on a well-deserved journey back to Holland. Andy was pastoring a church that he had founded and asked if I would take over his pulpit for the time that he was gone. I remember that first Sunday. It was either Irene or Elsie that had left a message on the podium for me. I don't remember my message. I don't remember a lot about that day, but I remember what it said in that little piece of paper. It went something like this. When you are ready to preach or teach or whatever you do, release the children. And I have never forgotten those few words. Whenever you preach or teach or whatever you do. The whatever is sharing my observations. If Donald Trump does not win this election, then I have not heard from God. And that's a major problem if you are a sharer of the observations that God tells you to observe. The things that God tells you to observe. Truth is vital. Especially when you're talking about God. There's a text that says, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Not a partial truth, not a half-truth, but a whole truth. The truth of God's Word will make you free. The opposite of that, I have always believed. Error will put you in bondage. I do not want to be responsible for putting anyone in bondage. And so, if Donald Trump does not win, which he will win, I then will cease and desist from sharing my observations ever again with you or others except for my family. I don't anticipate that happening. So, Mephibosheth, out for today. Before that, there are 2 videos that we made back in May. And I am going to, over the next 2 days, because of what I've just spoken about, I'm going to replay those videos for you. One tomorrow and one the next day. And so, Mephibosheth, out for today. Shalom.